Now, I like to refer to the science of getting rich frequently for lots of different things. And there's a lesson in chapter 14 of the science of getting rich called the impression of increase. The impression of increase, in a nutshell, is what you need to realize for yourself to become marketable. What is the impression of increase? The impression of increase takes place when you transform from being a needy person to a person of value. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not of any value before that. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is that what you're presenting to the world is something of value to everybody that you come across. If you're coming from a place of need and desperation, you also send out that message, but that's not the impression of increase. Now, psychologically and spiritually, the impression of increase is in perfect harmony with the more life idea, because everybody and everything in the universe is seeking the things that will allow it to increase, that will allow it to grow. We're all seeking that. The problem is that if we're coming from a dysfunctional paradigm, then the increase that we're seeking will cause us to go in the wrong direction. And here's what I mean by that. Underneath everything is the idea of more life, subconsciously. That is our divine principle, more life. It is always causing us to grow in that direction. But more life doesn't choose. It just takes whatever you get it. It's like an engine, and whatever you put in front of it, it just blasts that engine or blasts that thing into that direction. It's the direction of growth, okay? It's always moving things forward. Now, if you're programmed here in your subconscious mind with ideas that are dysfunctional, more life principle doesn't know that. It just takes them and grows them, okay? So let's just say, for instance, you had a drug problem or an alcohol problem, right? You were an addict here, okay? The more life principle, what it does is it grows the addiction. If you were an angry person, it grows the anger. If you're an insecure person, it grows the insecurity. If you're a needy person, you become more needy. Everything is moving in one direction or another. Nothing stays the same. Right? Now, the problem is that as it grows these different dysfunctions, it doesn't cause you to grow, it causes you to decline. It's kind of like cancer. Cancer will grow, but it will kill you in the process. But the cancer doesn't know that. The cancer doesn't know that. The idea is that you recognize what are the problems, what are the dysfunctions, what are the rules that you're playing by that are preventing you from making progress and then changing them. Okay? Because this doesn't give you the impression of increase unless you're a drug dealer. Right? But it's interesting. Take a drug dealer for a moment. Or take somebody who's in prison. They're often much more resourceful than most business owners. Well, they really are. I've never met an addict that doesn't get their fix. They will always figure out a way. Why? Because the sense of urgency for that to happen takes over everything in their life. So in a very real sense, your sense of urgency needs to match that, but in a functional way.